There's a good chance that the fragrances we're going to be talking about in today's video are going to be worth a lot of money at some point. Now, this is not financial advice. Normally I don't have to say that on this channel, but I'm just going to put it out there because there are going to be people who somehow mess that up. And typically, fragrances as an investment are a bad idea because a lot of the time with most of the things that you purchase, the second you open it up, you've lost money, okay? And oftentimes, even the second you get that bottle in the mail, you've lost money before you even open it up and touch it. Because if you were to try to resell that for the same price that you paid for it, why would anybody do that when they can just go to the retailer and buy it for the same amount, brand new, without having to be concerned that they could be getting ripped off or buying a fake, or, just go buy it at the discounter for the same price that you're asking for or even lower. And so that's just the reality of it. That's how this hobby is. And so when it comes down to it, there are certain things out there that will be sought after at one point where later on down the road, if you still have that item, even if it's not brand new, even if it's been open and worn and maybe missing half a bottle or something, you could still probably turn around and sell that for more than what you paid for it. And so another thing I'm going to make clear is that I don't condone you do this. And by the way, this has been going on well before I started in the fragrance community, well before I've made this video. So me saying something like this isn't going to ruin everything for everybody. You take a look at what's been going on eBay and the Facebook groups and forums. People have been buying and reselling stuff and flipping fragrances for years. So it's nothing to get upset about. I'm not saying that I 100% agree with it because I've participated in the fact that I've gone online and I've bought some things that people have probably bought low and sold high. That's because of supply and demand. It's something that's just, built into the economy that we're in. And so, whether you want to participate in it or not, it's just something that's reality. If you live in a fantasy world and you don't want to face reality, then you don't have to watch this video. But we're going to be taking a look at some items that at some point are going to be worth a lot more money than what you can get them for right now. And again, if you are open-minded and you look around and you see what's going on, this is happening all over the place. At the rate that these fragrance brands are producing flankers and new releases, they have no choice but to discontinue old stuff. And the turnover rate is faster than it's ever been, making it harder for people to hang on to just one signature scent, because now their signature scent that they might discover could be discontinued in 2, 3, 4 years after release, or even less than that. And so there's going to be times where people are going to want to repurchase that bottle, and it might be at a higher cost. We're going to go ahead and run through these. We're going to start off with Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Platine Privé. And so this one's pretty simple, kind of a cheat, but I wanted to throw it in anyway. Just look at historical data. That tells you everything you need to know. It's right there in front of you on paper. L'Homme Ideal Cologne and Cool were relatively short runs, got discontinued, and then prices went way up. People were buying them up because they wanted them, and they didn't know that they were going to re-release this DNA again a few years down the road. Rinse and repeat. This has been happening a lot. And so this is basically a fresh replacement of the L'Homme Ideal lineup, modeling the Cologne and Cool prior releases. This one has been marketed as a limited edition, so they're telling us this time. And maybe they did with Cool, I can't remember. Cologne, I think, was kind of surprised. But this one, right on their website, limited edition release, so we know it's not going to be around for a long time. It's important that if you want this stuff, to get it now. And also, there's going to be people who wait around, they drag their feet, they wait too long, and then next thing you know, you can't get it at retail anymore, and then you're stuck with paying above, which people are going to do. So this is one to consider. Next up was Acqua di Gio Profumo. This one might not make a whole lot of sense because the Parfum is out. However, there's still a market for this one. How do I know that? Well, because when this one comes into stock on discounters, it sells out really quickly. I wasn't for sure that was something that was going to be going on, but it was. And so now every time this one comes in stock, I do send out a notification on it because people are still wanting to get OG Profumo, even though you can get the Parfum. And I will also say this, when this one comes into stock, the price is pretty comparable with the Parfum. At that point, it's kind of like splitting hairs, whichever one you end up with is good. But there's still going to be the diehard collectors who are going to want to get the Parfum and stash it away because they're no longer producing this one. But there are going to be people who want to get Profumo and stashed that away. And again, they're no longer producing it. It's the Parfum now. They've fully changed over. So this might be something to consider picking up and holding on to. And it's also worth throwing out there that we don't know what the future of the Parfum holds either. They might decide that they want to get rid of that one in a few years. We really never know at this point. Next up, we have Bulgari Man Extreme. This one at one point was a great summer flanker and still is, to be fair. It's just getting a little bit harder to find. Now again, for the most part, these are getting harder to find, but not always impossible. They pop up from time to time. They just sell quick. You just have to be on the lookout for it. This one has cactus juice, which has always been kind of an interesting note, or cactus sap, as they might also call it. You got some woods in here, some pink grapefruit, a little bit of rose. Apparently, I'm cheating and just looking at the back of the bottle. It's a tester, so they show you the notes there. But really good scent, fresh, bright, uplifting. That is just getting harder and harder to find as time goes on. This one was having a decent amount of hype going for it at one point, but of course that died off when availability was limited, so this might be something to look into. Next up, we have Armani Stronger With You Oud, and really this is another easy one. Take a look at any exclusive edition pretty much ever for any big designer brand or niche brand. Exclusive editions are always going to have limited availability from the first moment they're released up until you can't get them anymore at all. Again, exclusive. That's the key word here. It's not just with this lineup, other brands, other lines. Take a look at the Dolce & Gabbana, the one lineup, Luminous Night, which was the hardest to get out of all of them. And then Royal Night and Mysterious Night are now starting to get really hard to find as well. So those would be great options too if you could find them. But Stronger With You Oud, Leather, Amber, and the newest Tobacco, those are all going to be worth looking into and picking up because they're not going to be around forever. In general, they're just going to be a little bit harder to find on a consistent basis, and they're going to be worth some money at some point. Next up, we have Terre d'Hermès Eau Très Fraîche, another one that might not make sense because you can go out and buy Eau Givrée, which is the replacement for this one. And that's true. I'm not discrediting any of this stuff. I'm being fully transparent. Acqua di Gio Profumo, you can get the Parfum. Terre d'Hermès Eau Très Fraîche, you can get Eau Givrée, right? That, you know, nobody's discounting that. It's pretty obvious. However, there are still going to be people out there who want to get the original, you know, existing DNA before they essentially rebottled it. It sounds dumb for a lot of people, but when you get to the point where you have a lot of fragrances, it's actually fun to hunt down, track down discontinued, hard to find things. I was like that and still am. I still really enjoy hunting down discontinued fragrances because, you know, it's easy to buy the new releases. It's easy to buy things that are on discounters. But once you have all that stuff already, then what else do? Then you can start really trying to dive in and hunt some things down. I've gotten a lot of cool finds over the years, some Gucci Envy and other various discontinued sought after fragrances. It's fun, it's exhilarating, it's a little bit of a rush when you place that order and it actually ships, and of course you get it and it's authentic and you didn't get ripped off. So there are people out there who want to do that and it's kind of fun for them, and I get that 100%. So Terre d'Hermès Eau Très Fraîche, worth a pickup. That's just an easy place to park your money. If you end up not liking it or you get tired of it or whatever, you could sell it, bare minimum, break even, but likely you'll be able to come out ahead. Next up, we have Dior Eau Sauvage Cologne. So kind of tailing along Eau Très Fraîche. These Cologne Eau Fraiche versions oftentimes have a hard time, and they're usually not in it for the long haul. Of course, there are exceptions. Just one that comes to mind immediately, Versace Man Eau Fraiche. That one has been in the game for a long time now, and I don't see it going anywhere. But more often than not, the fresher flankers just don't make it all that long. There's L'Homme, Summer Eau Fraiche edition that's kind of in a weird wording that I can't say, ODT or something. I have it, I just don't know how to say it. That one didn't last long at all. YSL Eau Fraiche, kicked the can a while ago. Just the list goes on. A lot of them just are usually short runs. And this one's no exception. Whether they're still making this or not right now, I don't know 100% sure. I just know that at some point you're not going to be able to get it anymore. Thus, the price is going to go up pretty quickly because the Eau Sauvage line might not be in the spotlight like Sauvage is, but there's still going to be a cult following for people who like the classics. We're going to end this video. Oh, that's sad. That sucks. I wasn't expecting that. With Dolce & Gabbana Velvet Exotic Leather. So right as I picked that up, it fell off. I just put a little dab of hot glue to put that on there, which I guess how else would you do it, right? You got to glue it or something, but yeah, that didn't survive. So I guess that sucks a little bit. But yeah, this one is one that's worth checking out. It's so good. And I bought this one right at the nick of time, because not too long after I started featuring it in videos, and then it just went silent. Nobody could get it anymore. And so I had to pull it out of videos. I love it. And it's sad that I can't talk about it more. This is an exception because I'm saying to be on the lookout, but if I could feature this one more, if it was in stock often, I would. It's great. Kind of like a mix between the one Eau de Parfum, but heavier and stronger, and a little bit of Lana Weed D'Lome. Rich, vibrant, sexy, warm, heavy. This is a great scent that just never got any recognition because it's from the line or the side of Dolce & Gabbana that's a bit more expensive. This is kind of their more exclusive niche line, just like every big designer brand has. And so, yeah, if you can find this one, get it. No questions asked. Maybe you don't like it, but again, just turn around and sell it for what you paid or above that. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Some fragrances you can buy and come out ahead in the future. You know, a lot of them you probably could double your money if you buy smart and you hold for the appropriate period of time. But for a lot of it, it's simply just parking your money somewhere and being able to get it back out if you just change your mind. Most fragrances, Sauvage, EDT, Dylan Blue, you can't do that. You lose money instantly. But with these, you can just turn around and sell them for what you paid for and then get into something else. So these are pretty safe in that regard. You might look at the prices and think, oh, that's not a safe blind buy. It's daring and it's expensive, right? But they're actually a bit safer than some other scents that you just lose money on instantly. So something to consider. If you want to put in a little bit of extra work, buy it, try it, and sell it again, that's something you can do and a cool way to try stuff, especially things that are hard to find. Hopefully that puts things into perspective for you. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.